Hello! In chapter 5 to 6 of Long Walk to Water, we are continuing our story with two children, Salva and Naya. We left off where Salva is escaping a brutal civil war and Naya spends her days walking for water. For both Naya and Salva, survival is a daily struggle. But what they're fighting for and what they experience along the way is very different. For Naya, life during the dry season becomes an endless routine. Her family moves to a camp near a dried up lake, and every day her job is to dig into the muddy ground and wait for water to slowly seep through the clay. It's exhausting work repeated over and over just to get the most basic thing her family needs to survive. And after all that hard work, the water Naya collects is still dirty and muddy. It barely even looks safe to drink. But her family has no other choice. This really shows how difficult life is during the dry season. Naya spends hours working under the hot sun, and even then, the reward is only a small amount of muddy water. It helps us understand how precious clean water truly is. Now, let's switch back to Salva in 1985. His struggle is completely different. Salva and the group he is traveling with are starving after walking for days and days across Sudan. They are tired, weak, and desperate for food. Then suddenly, they discover a beehive. The bees attack them and sting them everywhere, but the group keeps going because they know the honey inside could save them. And finally, after all the pain, they get to eat the honeycomb. Imagine how incredible that moment must have felt. After weeks of hunger, this is not just a snack. To Salva, it feels like a huge gift. The sweet honey gives the group energy and hope again. It reminds them that even in the middle of fear and suffering, small moments of happiness can still exist. Those tiny moments are what help people keep moving forward. But survival is not only about finding food and water. People also need comfort, friendship, and support. When life becomes terrifying, having someone beside you can make all the difference. And in these chapters, we begin to see how important human connection becomes for both Salva and Naya's family. Salva has been walking for weeks feeling frightened and alone. He does not know where his family is and every day feels uncertain. Then he meets another boy around his age named Mariel. At first, it is just a simple introduction. But very quickly, the two boys become friends. Since both of them are scared and separated from their families, they understand each other in a special way. Their friendship gives Salva comfort and helps him feel a little less alone during this dangerous journey. Meanwhile, life for Naya's family is filled with a different kind of fear. They are together, but that does not mean they feel safe. Naya's family belongs to the Nur tribe, and the land near the lake is also used by the Dinka tribe, a rival group. Because of this, every time Naya's father and brother leave to hunt, her mother becomes deeply worried. She fears they may not come back home. Even in a place that is supposed to be safe, the danger of conflict is always nearby. And just when it seems like Salva's journey could not become any more dangerous, his group enters a new area filled with an even greater threat. This time, it is not hunger or exhaustion they fear most. It is lions. The group is now traveling through the land of the Atuat people. The Dinka people even call them the people of the lion. There is also a frightening story connected to this place. Some believe that when an Atuat person dies, they return as a lion that hunts humans. So for Salva and the others, the lions are not just dangerous animals. They feel like something mysterious and terrifying. Imagine trying to sleep at night while hearing lions roaring in the darkness around you. Every sound reminds the group that danger could be very close. The fear never fully disappears. Even while resting, they cannot truly relax because they know the lions could attack at any moment. And it's right here in this terrifying land of lions, in this frightening land filled with fear and uncertainty, Salva's journey suddenly changes in a very emotional way. Salva has now been walking for more than a month. He is surrounded by strangers and still has no idea if his family is alive. Then suddenly, from the crowd, someone calls his name. It is his uncle Jewar, his father's younger brother. Salva has not seen him in 2 years. In the middle of all these strangers, suddenly seeing a member of his family feels almost unbelievable. Salva is overwhelmed with relief and happiness. For the first time in a long while, he does not feel completely alone. His uncle's arrival changes everything for the group. He carries a rifle, which means protection and leadership. Very quickly, he becomes someone the others trust. He even hunts an antelope and provides food for everyone. After so much fear and hunger, Uncle Jewar brings the group comfort, safety, and hope. But sadly, the moment does not last long. After starving for so long, the group's bodies cannot handle the rich roasted meat. Even though the food smells delicious and everyone is excited to eat, many people soon become very sick. Their moment of relief quickly turns into another painful struggle. After the sickness finally passes, everyone falls asleep from exhaustion. But when Salva wakes up, he hears crying nearby. Then he feels his uncle's hand resting on his shoulder. Something is wrong. Salva quickly looks around for his friend Mariel, the boy who helped him feel less alone during the journey. But Mariel is nowhere to be found. He is gone. Uncle Jewar does not even need to explain what most likely happened. Suddenly, the lion roars they heard during the night feel much more frightening. Salva understands that his only friend on this long journey is gone. Just like that, Salva's world changes again. He feels crushed by sadness and loss. After finally finding someone who understood him, he now has to face another painful goodbye. But in that same moment, Uncle Jewar promises to protect him. Even while Salva is grieving, his uncle gives him something important: hope that he will not have to face the journey alone anymore. And this becomes one of the biggest questions in the story. How does someone keep moving forward after losing so much? Salva finally found family again, but he also lost a close friend. He now has protection, but he is also reminded of how dangerous and fragile life can be. The story shows us that survival is not only about staying alive. Sometimes it also means finding the strength to keep going, even after heartbreak and loss. So, chapters 5 and 6 show us just how dangerous and exhausting survival can be. Naya continues her endless search for water while Salva faces hunger, fear, loss, and the constant uncertainty of war. Even when moments of hope appear, they can disappear just as quickly. So, let's continue the story and dive into chapters 7 and 8 of A Long Walk to Water.
If you'd like more personalized feedback, writing support, and discussion sessions, they're available with me or with our selected tutors. All the details are here.